You're already dead. You just haven't fallen yet. You're falling. Not into water, not onto land, into a white void where even shadows disappear. The helicopter, your last link, vanishes behind a curtain of snow. Around you, it's minus 45 degrees Celsius. The wind roars at 120 kilometers per hour. This isn't a storm. It's a katabatic wind, the breath of the ice cap, stripping everything from you: warmth, hope, even the memory of how home smells. The first breath is like swallowing molten glass. Ice crystals burn your lungs. The second is almost impossible. Your airways constrict from thermal shock. The cold doesn't penetrate. It invades. Convection is when the wind rips your thermal shield from your body and thrusts ice directly into your flesh. Blood instantly retreats from your fingers, ears, face. Your skin frosts over from your own breath. Eyelashes stick together. You're not shivering. Shivering is a sign of life, and you no longer have it. Your cortisol level is 30 micrograms per deciliter. Your heart pounds twice as fast. But this isn't a fight. It's a farewell. Do you feel it? That slight itch in your fingers? It's not the cold. It's your nerves shutting down. In 5 minutes, you won't be able to clench your fist. In 7, you'll stop understanding where north is, where south is, where you even are. Cognitive functions drop by 40%. Your brain is like a restaurant menu without prices. Everything is there, but you can't choose anything. And here's the paradox. At minus 60 in silence, you'd live longer than at minus 40 with a hurricane. Cold is slow. Wind is an executioner. It doesn't even let you freeze beautifully. It turns you into an ice statue with a melting consciousness. Imagine, you're sitting on the ice, smiling, saliva freezing on your chin. This is hypothermic euphoria. Your brain gives up. And at this moment, you understand why Robert Scott died 18 kilometers from rescue. Not from the cold. From the illusion that he could still walk. In 45 minutes, you'll stop being human. You'll become part of the landscape. A white spot on a radar that no one will notice. Nature here isn't an enemy. It's indifferent. And that's scarier than any malice. Imagine, you're standing on the ice in a t-shirt and jeans. The wind isn't blowing, it's crashing. Like a wall of ice, rushing at 100 kilometers per hour. Each gust of air pierces the fabric like a needle, blowing away heat through convective flow. Convection is when the wind tears away your thermal shield, that 2-millimeter layer of warm air that, in silence, saves you from quick death. Without it, your skin is not a barrier, but a sieve. Do you feel it? That prick in your fingers? In 60 seconds, they'll stop moving. Nerves block at temperatures below 10 degrees Celsius. In 3 minutes, your face goes numb. Your breath crystallizes in the air, forming an icy mask. You blink, your eyelashes stick together. Your eyelids freeze shut. You scream. The sound is carried away by the wind, leaving only a ringing in your ears. Your clothes betray you. Soaked with sweat, they conduct heat 25 times more efficiently than dry clothes. They turn into an icy shell that doesn't warm, but accelerates cooling. You're not freezing. You're being blown away, like a candle in a hurricane, instantly, without a trace. Now imagine the wind not at 100, but at 320 kilometers per hour. This is not fiction. This is the record at Dumont d'Urville Station. Such hurricanes are born when cold air from a 3-kilometer dome rushes down under its own weight, gaining avalanche speed. They flatten hangars like cardboard. They burn skin with icy shrapnel, accelerated to the speed of a sandblaster. Second-degree cryoburns in 90 seconds. And you? You're a person in jeans. Your mass is 70 kilograms, insignificant against a force that moves containers. Against such a wind, you're not helpless. You're invisible. It will sweep you away like a speck of dust and won't even notice. Because in Antarctica, a human is not a guest. They are a mistake. Even if you stood your ground, A 100-kilometer wind creates pressure of 1,200 pascals, enough to knock you down. You fall, you crawl. Your palms touch the ice and instantly freeze to it. But your body has already activated emergency mode. It shuts down your fingers, ears, legs, redirects blood to your heart and brain. And here's the trap. In 12 minutes, you'll stop feeling your hands, then your legs, and then you'll feel warm. In the bitterest cold. This isn't hope. This is the hypothalamus triggering hypothermic euphoria. The brain gives up. And at this moment, you smile. Saliva freezes on your chin. You're no longer fighting. You are part of the landscape. You suddenly feel warm, very warm. You're sitting on the ice, smiling. Saliva freezes on your chin, but you don't see it. Your fingers feel alien. Your tongue swells. Words come out slurred. You mumble, "It's fine. Just going to sleep." But inside, it's a catastrophe. Your core temperature has dropped below 35 degrees Celsius. You're in the moderate hypothermia zone. To spare you fear, your brain activates its last trick. Hypothermic euphoria. Dopamine, serotonin, false calm. This isn't hope. It's the last spasm of a dying nervous system. And if a rescuer with a warm sleeping bag stood before you now, you'd refuse. You'd say, "No need, I'm fine." Are you familiar with that feeling when your brain lies? When instead of alarm, there's peace. Instead of pain, bliss. This isn't weakness. It's biological surrender. Your body has activated central shunting. Blood has left your fingers, ears, nose, and rushed to your heart, lungs, brain. Logical. But the cost? Your hands go numb at 15 degrees Celsius in the tissues. Speech becomes slurred. Your tongue is chilled like ice. And at 32 degrees Celsius, your hypothalamus goes haywire. Your prefrontal cortex is silent. And your brain decides, enough fighting. It creates the illusion of warmth so you'll stop moving. So you don't waste your last calories. But here's the trap. If you suddenly feel a surge of energy, don't believe it. It's not a chance. It's adrenaline, released in despair. Panic burns glycogen 3 times faster. You run, you scream, you thrash. But the heat doesn't go to your heart. It goes to useless movements. NASA studies are clear. Those who lie still live twice as long, up to 45 minutes. And those who run die in 15. Now imagine, it's not just night. It's polar night, 110 days without the sun, without a horizon, without shadows. Darkness erases space. Your vestibular system gets disoriented. Your visual cortex, deprived of stimuli, conjures phantoms, lights, doors, faces. You see shelter 10 meters away, but it's not real. The real thing is nearby. You just can't see it. The cold takes the body, the wind, your breath, and the darkness, your mind. And at this moment you understand, death in Antarctica is not from the cold, but from your brain convincing you that you're already saved. You're walking, or you think you are. Around you is a white wall, sky, ground, wind. Everything merges into one endless noise. No sun, no stars, no horizon. Only snow, wind, and a silence that presses on your eardrums like the ocean's depth. You're sure the base is ahead, but your legs have been tracing a spiral for 2 hours. You pass your own backpack twice. You don't recognize it. Your eyes see, but your brain doesn't process. Memory is like old film, tearing into frames without a plot. North, south, up, down, left, right. Everything is blurred, and at some point you just fall. Not from cold, not from exhaustion, but because you no longer understand where to go and why. There's no map in your head, only a white screen. The human brain is not a GPS. It navigates by shadows, by the horizon line, by how light falls on the snow. In Antarctica, during polar night, these anchors are absent. In a blizzard, the wind erases them. Without them, the brain panics and switches to internal sensors, the vestibular system, the sense of the body in space. But these systems fail in 5 minutes. Without visual feedback, they start to lie. You feel like you're walking straight, but in reality, in circles. A radius of 20 to 100 meters. This isn't stupidity. It's a biological limit. And in Antarctica, it's deadly. Polar night lasts 110 days, without a single ray. It's not just darkness. It's a neurotoxin. At Concordia Station, 68% of scientists fall into clinical depression. 42% lose their circadian rhythms. Their bodies stop understanding when to sleep, when to eat, when to live. Dreams turn into bottomless falls. Voices whisper, "Just lie down, rest." And this is among professionals, in warm modules, with food, with light. Now imagine, you're alone, in jeans, at -50. The wind tears your skin, and the silence presses like a coffin. Loneliness here isn't a feeling. It's a poison, slower than cold, but surer. It doesn't freeze the body. It kills the will. You won't find shelter, even if it's 10 meters away. Your eyes don't see contours. Your brain doesn't form images. A door is just a shadow, and a shadow is the wind. This is how Robert Scott died, 18 kilometers from rescue. He died holding a letter to his wife, his face calm, because his mind had already given up. He no longer sought an exit. He just waited for the end. Antarctica doesn't forgive mistakes. It demands perfection, in body, in orientation, in psyche. And if even one link breaks, you become part of the landscape, a white spot, without a name, without a trace. Do you feel the darkness creeping into your temples? It's not fear. It's the beginning. March 1912. Ice. Wind. Darkness. Robert Scott sits in his tent, his fingers blue, trembling. Ink freezes on his pen. Beside him, the bodies of Wilson and Bowers, frost on their eyelashes. No breath. He's writing to his wife, his last letter. "I am not afraid to die, but I am pained to think of you." Outside the tent, -47. Wind at 160 kilometers per hour. Wind chill, -70. The fuel cans are empty. The solder used to seal them melted in the cold. The biscuits are eaten. The sleeping bags, icy. He doesn't ask to be rescued. He asks that his son know his father kept going. To the very end. Even when the end was 18 kilometers away. He had everything. Wool, fur, a map, sleds, provisions. But the environment removed 3 supports. The wind tore the tent, blew away the warmth. The darkness erased the horizon, turned the path into a spiral. Hypothermia shut down his brain. At 34 degrees Celsius, cognitive functions dropped by 60%. They abandoned their fuel, slowed their pace, stopped for 10 days, and lost the winter. And now, the cruelest part. 18 kilometers. That's a walk. 3 hours. In a park. But here, it's an abyss. In the blizzard, the 1-ton depot looked like a snowdrift. They walked past it, didn't recognize it, didn't see it, didn't believe their eyes, because their eyes no longer believed their brain. In Antarctica, distance isn't measured in kilometers. It's measured in body temperature, wind speed, and remaining sanity. And they had none left. Do you feel your hands trembling? Imagine, you know rescue is just around the corner, but your legs won't obey. Your eyes see ghosts, and in your head, silence. Not fear, not hope, just enough. This isn't weakness, it's biology. In the desert, water in a cactus. In the ocean, a raft. In the jungle, birds will show the way. But here, nothing. Only ice, wind, darkness. The environment gives you no clues, No resources, no time. The average life expectancy without shelter at -50 and a 100-kilometer-per-hour wind is less than 45 minutes. Not an hour. Not half an hour. 45 minutes. You're part of the landscape. That's why Antarctica is the deadliest continent. Not because of the cold, but because it strips you of everything that makes you human: warmth, light, and reason. And when that's gone, hero and victim become one and the same. Imagine you're in the Sahara, 45 degrees Celsius, no shade, no water, but you're alive. 2 days. 3. You'll find a rock, hide, wait for night. Water evaporates, but slowly, your body fights. Now you're in Antarctica, -50 degrees Celsius. Wind, 100 kilometers per hour. In 8 minutes, your body loses control of its temperature. Not in an hour, not in half an hour. 8 minutes, and hypothermia starts the death timer. In the desert, there's a chance. Here, there isn't. You think, I'm a survivor. I can handle this. But Antarctica isn't about skills. It's about physics. Try to light a match. The wind will snatch the flame away like dust from your palm. Try to dig a snow cave. The ice is harder than concrete. At -40, it doesn't cut. It chips. And there's no wood, no grass, not even bird bones. The biomass of the entire continent is 0.01% of Earth's. You're not in the wilderness. You're in a freezer without a door. And here's the trap. Elsewhere, panic is your enemy, but you can run. Here, panic is a killer. You run, you burn your last calories. Your heart pumps blood not to your brain, but to your legs. And your brain is already going numb. At 35 degrees Celsius, speech becomes slurred. At 33, you smile. At 30, you fall asleep. Forever. Katabatic wind doesn't blow. It falls. Like an avalanche of air from a 3-kilometer dome. Speed, 320 kilometers per hour. It doesn't cool. It burns. With icy shrapnel. Your skin gets a second-degree burn in 90 seconds. And your clothes, soaked with sweat, act like a radiator, blowing heat away 25 times faster. Polar night, 110 days. No sun, no stars, no horizon. Your brain loses orientation in 5 minutes. You walk in circles. You see a door, but it's a snowdrift. Your eyes work. Your brain doesn't. Because navigation requires shadows, and they don't exist here. Do you feel your fingers stop obeying? It's not the cold. It's your nerves shutting down. In 10 minutes, you won't be able to clench your fist. In 15, you won't recognize a rescuer. You'll say, I'm fine, and die, smiling. In the ocean, a raft. In the mountains, a cave. In the jungle, fruits. In Antarctica, only ice, wind, and a silence that presses on your skull. There are no resources, no shelters, no time. Only technology saves you. Without it, it's impossible. Not difficult. Impossible. And if you're not in shelter when your body temperature drops below 35 degrees Celsius, your story is no longer about survival. It's about how a person turns into ice, quietly, without a scream, without a fight, just disappears. Your body temperature is 27 degrees Celsius. The shivering has stopped. Your heart beats rarely, too rarely. And suddenly, peace, deep, almost maternal. You take off your gloves, unzip your jacket. This isn't madness. It's paradoxical undressing. When the hypothalamus, overloaded by the cold, sheds its program and sends a signal, you're overheated. Your brain lies. But you believe it. Because you feel good. Very good. You sit down on the snow. Or perhaps you're already lying down. You don't remember. It doesn't matter. Your eyelids grow heavy. You're breathing, long, even. And all around, Only the wind, erasing your silhouette from the world, like an eraser on paper. Do you feel it? This lightness? It's not life. It's its last breath. At 28 degrees Celsius, the heart loses its rhythm. Sodium and potassium ions stop obeying commands. Myocardial cells begin to beat irregularly. It's ventricular fibrillation. The heart flutters like the wing of a dead bird, but doesn't pump blood. The brain is silent. Oxygen has run out. Neurons are still alive, 15, maybe 20 minutes. But without blood flow, they are doomed. Even if they find you. Even if they start extracorporeal circulation, there's no chance. Biological death is irreversible. Here's the truth they hide. If you lose consciousness in Antarctica, you're already a corpse. Not in critical condition. Not in a coma. A corpse. Because within the first 30 minutes, the body passes the point of no return. Cell membranes crack. Enzymes burst out. Decomposition begins inside you, like in a car where all the oil has leaked out. And no technology will put it back together. That's why all survival protocols come down to one thing. Don't let your temperature drop below 32 degrees Celsius. Because after that, there's no going back. No medicine. No miracle. No hope. Only thermodynamics. Without a face. Without a voice. Without pity. Imagine you fall asleep. Not from exhaustion, not from fear, but because your body has given up. And at the last moment, it seems to you, everything is fine. You smile, saliva freezes, and your heart is already ice. Your death here is not a failure. It's physics, a law, inevitability. And in this, there's strange comfort. You're not alone. You're just part of a system where warmth always loses to cold. Always. Cold, wind, darkness. Not three enemies, one system. Cold takes heat. Wind accelerates the theft tenfold. Darkness, 110 days without sun, breaks the brain. Together, they don't kill. They erase. Like an eraser on charcoal. You think you know fear? Imagine, your fingers are no longer yours. Your tongue, a piece of ice. Your eyes see a door, but your legs lead into the void. Not because you're weak, because your brain no longer trusts itself. In Antarctica, without shelter, you don't survive. You disappear. In 45 minutes. This isn't nature. It's a trap. Honed over millions of years. Perfect. Emotionless. Flawless. In the desert, you'd find shade. In the ocean, a plank. In the jungle, fruit. Here, only ice. Wind. Silence that presses on your temples like a vice. And no skills will save you. Only technology. Without it, zero. Imagine this is you. You're in jeans. Wind. 100 kilometers per hour. Minus 50. In 8 minutes, your body loses control. In 12, you're smiling, and saliva freezes on your chin. In 45, you're gone. Not even a shadow. Not even a trace. The wind has already swept away everything that reminded anyone you were human. Antarctica, a giant ice computer. It doesn't get angry, doesn't seek revenge, doesn't choose. It simply calculates body heat plus wind speed minus time equals 0. And in this equation, you are not a victim, not a hero. You are a number. That quickly becomes 0. Do you know this feeling? When your body begs to lie down, when darkness whispers, rest. This isn't fatigue. It's biology, conceding defeat. And at this moment, you understand, death here is not a catastrophe. It's a logical conclusion. Like a light being switched off. Look here, 18 kilometers. A 3-hour walk in the park. But for Scott, an abyss. Because cold, wind, and darkness had already shut down his brain. He didn't die from the cold. He died because he stopped seeing salvation, even though it was nearby. This is the power of this trap. It doesn't break the body first. It extinguishes the mind. Now, a question for you. After all you've heard, after the story of blood receding from fingers, of a heart fluttering like a dead bird's wing, of silence that devours the will, would you risk going out into such a night? Just answer honestly, yes or no. Your answer is not a choice. It's an admission that even breathing here is an act of resistance. And pride? It freezes it.